I was going to go for Biden. I mean, I've become one of those double haters, unfortunately, or I knew I was pretty much a double hater, but Biden seemed the safer alternative.
And what about and where are you
Went through
today?
4 years of bad policy, but you can't have
Yeah.
bad
If he
politics or foundation.
if he's still the nominee, will you still vote for him?
No, impossible, impossible. I don't know what I'm going to do at this point. I'm really hoping that this 11-week pivot, happens pretty quickly so that we do have a viable alternative. And I don't think that's a la la land expectation to have. We have to take this seriously.
Okay, Christine, thank you so much.
So, anti-national front people in France are flying Palestinian flags, all right? They're not flying French flags, they're flying Palestinian flags because they identify with helpless underdogs.
Douglas Workman, go ahead.
To a reader of the wide world of news, what we saw last night came as no surprise. So that if it was no surprise to us, it couldn't have come as a surprise to the people who were preparing Biden. It couldn't have come to a surprise to the people in his inner circle. So then what was their aim in doing that? I don't understand why they would do that to put him in front of them, unless it was, this is the evidence we need for the family to now go to him and say, it's time to go.
Well, they have a vested interest in not telling the truth to each other and to the public. They thought they could prepare him. Think about the State of the Union. I think they're in more denial than my sources have been about his decline, his recent decline since State of the Union. But they pushed. It wasn't that long ago that this debate that they.
Right. We tend to stay in fantasy as opposed to reality as long as we can possibly maintain the fantasy. It's when reality becomes unavoidable, when it becomes more painful to stay in fantasy than in reality, that we finally accede to reality. And Biden land has stayed in fantasy for years, but it may be becoming more painful to stay in that delusional fantasy world than to join reality.